Right, this is an illustration I call hooks in the water. So this illustration and kind of analogy, metaphor, whatever, came to me before I moved out to Austin in 2010. So in college, I had a friend who lived, I believe, in somewhere around Indianapolis. So I went up to see her, I believe, in like 2009 or it could have been 2008. So before I came out to Austin. And when I went up to see her, her dad had this koi pond, and the couple days I was visiting with her, he saw an ad on Craigslist for like a nearby koi pond that was like, pay $5 or maybe it was $10 and you can come and catch all the koi that you can catch out of this pond that was just filled with koi fish. And so we went up there and we had fishing poles and hooks and bait and stuff. And initially we were using the bait and like worms and things like that or whatever we had. I'm not sure what koi we used to catch koi as bait and stuff, but initially we were using some bait and we weren't having much luck. And then all of a sudden there were so many fish in the pond that she just got the idea to use just a hook alone. And she was like, I'm going to just turn this into a game and I'm just going to bob and wiggle my hook and just see if one of them grabs onto it. And then if they do and they bite at it, I'll just pull it up really quick. And I was just like, sure, whatever, that's probably not going to work because you need some bait. Well, like 5 minutes later, she caught her first fish. And I thought, well, maybe she got lucky. And then over the next couple minutes, she caught another one and another one. And she was catching this all with just a hook. And so I started doing the same thing, and I think I caught one the same way. And at the time, that was just a little random story that happened in my life. But when I moved out to Austin and I started to get into SEO, I just went down the same path and went through the same courses and followed the same kind of methodologies that other people were teaching, whereas which was, go after the review type keywords, product name plus review, and like, if any other SEO is going after that same product, they're going after the same kinds of keywords. And in the early days of just like 10 years ago, whatever, 10, 15 years ago, with SEO, there weren't all these long tail keyword tools. So that didn't help us. I mean, we knew about long tail keywords, but we just sort of kind of made them up because based on like what we could think that we might type, because the Google auto suggest tool and that wasn't a thing yet. And so long tail keywords, there weren't all these long tail keyword suggestion and scraper tools just yet. And so, but once I learned about mass page sites and long tail keywords and the long tail search tools started coming out, like the keywordtool.io and Ahrefs and SEMrush and some of the other tools out there that allow you to scrape long list of keywords. What the epiphany I had, and I don't remember exactly how this clicked for me, but I think this was just maybe some of my own tests or whatever, perhaps like through taking the keywords and that I found from some of these the free versions of these long tail keyword tools and putting them in as tags to WordPress posts, not making content around them, but just putting them in as tags, and seeing that attracted traffic and that traffic converted into sales. And then I think that's what gave me the aha moment to use the mass page technique and software that I knew about, which most people were using for local long tail searches to rank for like local pay-per-click and pay-per-call and lead gen and stuff for local businesses. The twist I added to it was using it to combining mass page sites with long tail keywords related to affiliate marketing products. So basically going after all the long tail keywords that other SEOs didn't didn't create content for, but people were clearly searching for. And what I had figured out was that most of the long tail searches were the buyer keywords. They had more buyer intent behind them. But it doesn't make sense to go out and create unique content for them, well-written content, or if you're doing YouTube videos, like well put together content for videos and stuff, because they just get a trickle of traffic. But if you add all those trickles of traffic up, then a lot of times it's greater than the search traffic for the couple of keywords that the other SEO courses out there were telling you to target. And the long tail keywords, what's more important is the traffic you're getting for those keywords are buyer keywords, which is the only thing that matters. The keywords that get the most volume generally are not buyer keywords. They're more informational based searches. So this is kind of what how I see it in my head. Basically, the mass page sites, like this ocean represents the internet, all the sea of traffic that's just, people are searching for things all the time. And then mass page sites just represent casting a massive net, basically what we're doing with the koi pond, but just imagine like infinite fishes, and the fishes represent the searches, and tons of hooks in the water, as opposed to just one hook that we're dangling there. Just imagine if you had like 30,000 hooks, and that's what you essentially have with the mass page sites. Each of the posts represent a hook in the water, basically. And so you have a lot greater chance to catch more fish just by being there. So you don't have to be the best copywriter. You don't have to be the best SEO in the world, because a lot of times the reason these pages are ranking, getting an index, is because it's the only piece of content on the internet that Google can find about that long tail keyword. That's how much of an opportunity there is, just because there's not that many SEOs in the world, and the ones that are out there, they're not writing lots of unique content for long tail keywords. It's just not going to happen. Nobody has that much time, and most people aren't doing what I'm teaching and showing you in this course and training about mass page sites and using it for affiliate SEO. So hopefully that explains kind of how that works and how that fits together. But that's kind of one of the models that I use, and one of the ways that I think about these sites, that I just see it as casting a wide net out there in the ocean of the internet, and you've got all these hooks, and you're just grabbing traffic, the traffic that's already out there, the traffic that's already searching for these queries, and you're just siphoning it to your website. And this is laser targeted traffic, because it's long tail, very specific traffic that has a buyer intent, specific intent behind those searches, and you're directing them and pushing them to very targeted, relevant offers. So kind of the main point I want to drive home here is it's just a numbers game, and like nobody has enough time or money out there to sit down and write content for the thousands and thousands of long tail keywords related to specific products or niches. Nobody has the infinite budget to get that content written and outsourced at scale. Just for maybe you could do that for one niche, but you can't do that for all the niches that you could go after with the mass page site technique. And so it's just a numbers game, and the more hooks you have in the water, the more fish you're going to catch, aka the more traffic you're going to catch. The more traffic you have, the more you can redirect it to targeted offers, and the more money you're going to make, and you're going to attract a lot of traffic. And since it doesn't require a much time or much investment to build these mass page sites the way I show you how to do them, you're sacrificing or risking very little to make a lot, because just for a product that has maybe 10,000 keywords, and that's the kind of the number I look at. I don't look at necessarily keyword traffic, estimated volume of the keywords, just the number, because if we have it's just a volume game. So the more keywords we have, the more traffic we can attract to the site, and just the greater the chance we have of making money. And we can make duplicates of that same site to scale up and stuff, and we can make just other similar sites to those keywords. There's lots of ways we can scale up, so we don't even with the Mass Pages sites, we aren't limited to just one site for that product. If we're making money, we can make lots of sites around those same keywords. So it's just a numbers game, and this Mass Page site just gives the solopreneur a massive edge over like the agencies and the just the other people with bigger budgets and bigger teams and things like that. It's just a numbers game, and hopefully all that makes sense. But this is kind of how one of the ways I think of the Mass Page sites, and it kind of all goes back to that, just dangling that hook in the water and fishing for koi in that koi pond and just pulling them out. And you don't have to have the best bait or the best hook or the best line or fishing pole or technique or whatever. It's literally just a hook in the water. And that's how I see these pieces of content. But they are actually very targeted, because the keywords we're targeting are specific long tail keywords that people are searching for, and they're related to the offers that we're putting in front of them. So the more specific you get with the search, the less selling you have to do, which is great for folks like me, and maybe folks like you. Maybe you don't consider yourself a very good at selling or persuasion and stuff. With this technique, you don't have to be, because it just eliminates that, because it's a volume game. And then the volume that you're attracting, the traffic that you're attracting, they're already farther down the kind of sales funnel or whatever of awareness, because if they're typing in something specific, they're already aware of that product. They're not usually searching like for more information about it. They're a little bit more informed, and so a lot of times you just need to give them a little tap and push them over the edge, because they probably got their credit card out and ready to buy. They're just making they have one last question to make sure that their purchase is a good decision. And then it could just be as simple as literally just pointing them to the offer that you recommend. You don't even have to like sell them. Just let the offer do the selling. So I love this Mass Page strategy, because it eliminates all the things that I'm personally not that great at, and that most other people that I come across aren't very good at, like the selling and stuff. It's just volume and matching up super targeted traffic to hyper relevant offers, and just being that bridge through the Mass Page sites, and doing that at scale with the Mass Page sites for the long tail keywords. And you can do that over and over again and build multiple sites, and you can do that in lots of different niches all simultaneously without having to be an expert, spend years and just hours and thousands of dollars becoming an expert at each of those different niches. It doesn't take a genius to scrape these keywords, and you'll learn how to do that in the course. But it doesn't take a genius to scrape those keywords, so you don't have to go through all the years of becoming an expert to just go after these niches and promote these products and make money with all these different niches. So that's a huge edge over the person that's taking the time and energy to become an expert at that niche mini affiliate website that they've been taught and trained to put together to, as like one of the only ways to get started in making money with affiliate marketing and SEO. So hopefully all those points make sense, but it gives you a little bit more clarity, and just another way of thinking about how I think about these Mass Page sites, and just this analogy of hooks in the water. And that's really all we're doing when creating these Mass Page sites. And I hope this will help you.